Hello guys, Aurum Fortis here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my team's FLL robot for the Hydro Dynamics competition for this year's FLL contest, guys. I'll be going through all of the tech specs, including the motors, pieces, and sensors that I'm using, as well as how they incorporate with the different challenges involved in this year's Hydro Dynamics competition, guys. So before we get into this, I just want to let you guys know, if you guys would like to use anything from this robot, feel free to do so. All that I ask is that if you do use something from this video, that you do cite it to the judges if they ask you if you got anything from an external source. This way, you won't be a potential victim to plagiarism, and it helps out my channel a little bit, guys. So if you are asked by a judge or another team how you got this idea, please do let them know that it was this video that did give you the ideas for the different designs, but anything else is free for you to use. But I do ask that if you do use it, again, that you do cite that I am the one who originally created it. And guys, let me know, what does your robot look like in the comments below, and what other challenges are you doing? If they are the same as mine, that's really cool. And if you have any cool solutions that you'd like to share with the rest of us here, including other viewers, feel free to do that as well in the comments below, guys. So let's go ahead and get started with the motors. As you guys can see on first glance, this entire robot has 4 motors, 3 of them being large motors and 1 of them being a medium motor. We have 2 motors we have here on the bottom used for transportation and navigation, as well as 2 ball caster wheels for support. Then up here, as part of our crane, which I'll be going into detail with later on, we have 1 large motor that controls the height of the crane itself, and a medium motor back here that we use for the claw so we can pick up big water and other objects like that during the competition. Another thing you guys may notice is we are also using rubber bands to increase the tension on our robot, and what this does is it allows the crane to be more stable. If we weren't using the rubber bands, there would be a lot of slack to it, and the crane just wouldn't quite have the shape we're going with. We want it to be nice and strong and well supported. However, if we do take the rubber bands away, it loses that support, and without that tension, it often just flops back down when we try to lift it back up. You guys may know that there is a height and width difference for the beginning of the match, so it can only be a foot tall for the beginning of the match. This is about 1 foot right here, guys. So as you can see, our robot is quite tall. And then over here, the length difference just means it needs to be able to fit within base on the mat, which you guys know is in one of the corners. Depending on which direction you're standing in, it may be in a different corner. Maybe it's top left, maybe it's bottom right. Usually for us, it's bottom right though, but basically, as far as length goes, it just needs to be able to fit in base as well as the width. However, height just needs to be 12 feet tall, but at the beginning, at the middle of the match through the end of the match, so basically anywhere besides the beginning, it can go as tall as it would like to be. If they do feel the need to measure it, the judges will do so. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the sensors used on our FLL robot. All of our sensors are used up front, and you guys can see we have 2 color sensors and an ultrasonic sensor. We can use the ultrasonic sensor to spot other obstacles in the way, or so we know exactly when we'll need to activate the crane. We have the 2 color sensors in case we need to follow one of the 3 black lines on the mat. However, we probably won't be utilizing them, and they're mostly just for support. Other than that, we are not utilizing a 4th sensor, and as you can see, that 4th port is completely empty. Now let's go ahead and get to the basis of the build, as well as all the different configurations that we're using on this robot. Up front in the robot, we have this pushing mechanism. Now, what we are primarily going to use this for is to move the different obstacles, such as the tripod. So we're going to try to hook the tripod in and then take it into its designated zone from the base. And we're also going to use it to push the filter in for the filter challenge. I do know the filter is worth 20 points and the tripod is worth 20 points as well. right here, as far as movement goes, I've already gone over the large motors, but to connect everything, we use 2 large frames, and of course it's connected through these pieces, obviously all Technic because that's what the Mindstorms uses, and we have 2 caster wheels like I've said before up here. So for the most part, the entire body is pretty much just a regular Cowbot frame. The Cowbot is quite good though. It is a very solid build, and it allows for good turning and quite good speed considering it only needs 2 large motors to run. This is just to look at everything else. Up front, you can see we have sort of a turtle shell on top of the EV3 brick itself, and this is what gives the entire crane its height. Without this, it would probably be sitting on the ground. You guys can see here, there is not much distance from the bottom of the crane to the ground. I would guess half a centimeter to a centimeter of height to get to the bottom for the crane. It's really just a configuration of frames and Technic pins. We then have, you can see the connections for all of the rubber bands that allow for the increased tension. One flaw of this design for the crane, however, is that unlike the actual robotic arm that instructions come with when you get the EV3 software, this one has to turn in order to get the crane into position. It means it's not as accurate, and sometimes it moves a little bit when you're trying to get it into position, which means that rotations have to be pretty much precise every single time, and it does account for quite a few consistency errors within programming. Over here we have a large row of these Technic bars, and basically what these do is this just gives it all of this height and length that we need. Our real plan was to be able to grab things from a lot of range, and what this allows us to do is not have to travel as far to bring things back to base or get them into their designated zone. You can see the claw is just a regular claw that you would see on most FLL robots. We're using 2 spur gears and a conical gear in there, as you can see. So 4 gears in total, along with these frames, obviously 4, and we are using these 1x3 Technic bars to allow the entire claw itself to move. These also act as sort of restrictors if necessary. And of course, to grab objects with precision, we have the rubber tips put on the end. What I did find in testing is that without the rubber clips, the accuracy fell down to almost 15%. However, with them, it was close to 80 on getting big waters, so much more consistent with the rubber ends inside of the claw. But overall, guys, this robot does look really good, so let's go ahead and get into the final thoughts and the end of this FLL robot review. For the most part, guys, I do really enjoy this robot. The design, I think, is really well thought out. This robot took us about 3 weeks to build, which is 6 hours, because we have 2 meetings every week. 3 weeks, that is 6 hours of building to get this exactly how we wanted it. Originally, we had sort of a trailer bed back here. However, this robot had a really difficult time turning when we did that, and it just didn't work out quite as well as we would have liked it to. So rather than doing that, what we did is we settled for this design, but of course we didn't stack all these frames, so this was way too close to the ground, and it was just sort of like this, pretty much the trailer bed all over again, just not with the height. So what we finally settled on was this design, and I do think it looks really good. So my team for the most part helped. It was me and 2 other builders who were able to accomplish this. We had one builder over here building the claw and this area, and we had another builder who went ahead and did the configuration down here for a little bit of the large motors. I did most of this work, and as well as over here, and as you guys can see, it did come out quite well. The primary challenges we were looking at doing based on this is filter, pipe, and rain. So all in that one general area close to the entire area itself where you start in. So very, very close to base, which is really what we would like to do, but this does work well for other challenges. Primarily, we would like to use this robot for the challenges that include pipe, rain, and filter, because again, we can use the push mechanism right here for filter, and we can use the claw to accomplish both rain and pipe by using this as sort of a baseball bat, which is what we would like to do with this claw, because using it as a bat is actually quite a good technique if it can't really grab things. So again, this is a really good design in my opinion. I do really like the way that this robot came out, guys. Hopefully you guys do as well. If you guys do have a recommendation, if you guys want to see more FLL videos like this, pretty much just basing what I'm doing in my competition, I would be happy to do that for you guys. And again, if you do borrow anything from this video, all that I do ask is that if the judges do ask you if you got this from an external source, please do say yes. Do not put yourself at risk of being a victim of plagiarism, because if you're plagiarized, you could potentially be kicked out of the event, and that would really suck, because if you put a lot of time into your robot, you should be really proud, and you should really want to show the judges what you've done for your work, guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please do let me know in the comments below. Do you guys like my robot? What do you guys think are some last minute changes that I could improve on this robot? Do you think there's anything that I can do to make it better, guys? And what does your robot look like? What challenges are you engineering it to complete? When is your competition? And really, what are your goals for FLL? Let me know all those questions and more in the comments below. And again, guys, if you have a video request, constructive criticism, or anything else you guys just want to put out there on my channel, a question to ask, really just anything, please do leave it in the comments below, guys. I'm always checking comments. I'm always responding to your guys' questions. And again, if you do have a video request, I would be happy to do that for you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.